guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing the books slash makeup tag. I don't even know what this is called, but I used to watch these videos all the time, like back in the original like booktube days. And I remember I used to watch, well, I know her as Books with Chloe, but I used to watch her as she did the books and makeup tag, and I loved watching it. Just thought it'd be fun to do my makeup, get ready for the day while I talk about some books. I have them all picked out and I have the prompts that I'll be going through. So I won't be using every like makeup item today just because I don't typically wear like heavy makeup every single day. I kind of just like do what needs to be done. I have my like little basic makeup routine, but I'll still be talking about like the products and the books that go with the prompts I have. And I also have no idea who made these prompts, so credit to that person, whoever they may be. Let's just get right into it. So I've got my makeup bag, got my mirror, my beautiful antique mirror, and I've got my like face stuff. I'm so sorry if you hear the shower right now. My family lives with me, so my brother's in there. Anyways, the first prompt goes with primer, and the primer I use is the e.l.f. Power Grip primer. It's actually really good. I like how sticky it is. It like makes everything stay, especially like when I go to the gym and I have my makeup on. I feel like so secure. It's great. But the prompt is pick a book that left a lasting impression on you. I chose, it's not specifically this one, it's like the entire series. This is just the easiest one to get off the shelf, but it's Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Honestly, all of these books would count for this, but this entire series is just, it's left such an impression on me. If you don't really know, I like love Harry Potter. It used to be like my personality, and it still is, but I definitely like have other things now, but I'm still a huge Harry Potter fan. I love it so much. It's just such a great story. You have so many characters, like found family, and then the plot, like the events are like high stakes, but it's also like cozy at certain times, like at Hogwarts, and just the whole atmosphere is phenomenal. So this definitely left a lasting impression on me. And now to make my makeup last. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Hold it between my legs. So the next prompt is foundation, which I really don't wear that often. I normally just wear it on like special occasions or days where my skin looks like pretty bad. But like on most regular days I just do concealer, but I'm still gonna talk about it. So I use the Morphe, what is this even called? Filter Effect foundation. Oh, I'm doing the classic hand behind the product thing. And I just like this. I actually got this for prom like 2 years ago. I just liked it because it's very like lightweight. I really hate the feeling of like cakey, like thick makeup. So this is super thin. But yeah, I really just don't wear it that often. But the prompt for foundation is favorite first book in a series, and that is really hard because I have a lot of favorite series and favorite first books in series. I chose Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and like, you know, I know everyone's obsessed with this book right now. I still love it. Like, I was obsessed when I read this, and like Iron Flame was like 3.5 star for me. It was good, but it wasn't as, I didn't love it as much as I loved this one. But this I just think is such a solid start to a series. You get all the world building, you get a great introduction to the characters and to like the atmosphere, and it's just a lot of fun, and that's what I like in my fantasy books. So I definitely could have picked like Throne of Glass or even ACOTAR or something, but this I just think is such a solid first book that makes you want to keep reading, and like no matter how like mediocre the second book was, it doesn't affect my thoughts of this at all. On to concealer. The concealer I use is Morphe 2 Hide and Peak. Hello? There we go. This is like just kind of temporary because it's super thin and like lightweight, and I like that, but these bad boys need more coverage. So That's just the one I use for now. But the prompt is pick a character you wish didn't exist. And for that prompt I chose Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. And you may be thinking, why would you choose this book? All the characters are amazing. We love them all. What are you doing? And I'm talking about Pekka Rollins. If you know, you know. I haven't read Crooked Kingdom yet, but I hate that man. Everything he did to Kaz, just everything. I hate Pekka Rollins. So I wish he didn't exist, but at the same time, the story wouldn't exist without his manipulation, his deception, his lies. So I get it, but I hate him, and that's all I'm gonna say. I've actually been trying to like experiment and like do my makeup in different orders just to see what looks best. So like doing concealer last I thought might be like interesting to try, but I just like, I kind of wing it. Like I never really know what I'm doing. So if you understand makeup and like you have tips for, you know, looking great every time, I would appreciate those, because I'm kind of just trying my hardest here. Okay, so you probably can't tell a big difference because that concealer is like super lightweight, super thin, but it is what it is. Next step is powder, which I also don't normally use. I kind of like the more like glowy look. The powder I do use is from e.l.f. I have no idea what it's called because as you can see the label's rubbing off because it's so old, but it's just a really light like powder. But the prompt is pick your favorite last book in a series. So this is not the last book in the series, but it's the last book that's currently out, so I'm just gonna count it because I do love this book. That's A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. If you saw my reading blog, I love this book. It is so good. It's probably tied with ACOWAR for my favorite in the series because it was just amazing. I can't even say an articulate thought because I loved it so much and it's just that good. So read this book. It's great, and I know there will be more in this series. Don't know when, obviously, nobody knows, except for the queen herself, but safe to say, I am so excited for that book. Like, I genuinely, like, I think about it every day because I love Elaine, and I assume it's gonna be like Elaine's book. I love Elaine, but if you don't know this about me, Lucien is like my favorite ACOTAR character, I think. Like, I adore him. So I'm scared, but I hope he plays a big role in the next ACOTAR book. Now, on to the next prompt, which is bronzer. And that prompt is pick your favorite summer read. I wouldn't say this is my favorite summer read, but I haven't really read that many like books I would consider a good one to read in the summer. Like, I haven't read anything by Emily Henry yet. I plan to. So this is just the one that like I read during a summer, and I read it so fast and really enjoyed it. But that's We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This book is kind of controversial because some people didn't really like the plot twist in this, but I personally didn't see it coming and I really liked it. And just the whole, like the vibes of like the island they're on, the family, all the details about the food they eat and just everything going on was so like well written and very like atmospheric. I really enjoyed like reading this, and I would like to reread it at some point. I think it's super fun to do like in a 24-hour readathon, maybe, if I can ever bring myself to do one of those. So I'd recommend this and then the sequel Family of Liars for a good summer read. Now onto my bronzer. I use, again, Morphe 2 is not even like my favorite brand. It's just I like their products. They work really well for me, but it's the like Morphe 2 bronzing stick, and it's like a cream. So all I really do is just my nose, jaw, and then I look kind of crazy. But then I take my brush and I just go like this. Okay, and then hopefully that looks decent. I'm not the best at this or blending or anything. I just kind of try my hardest, like I said. And I don't really contour, but the next step is so so I guess you could also consider what I just did contour, depending on how you look at it. Prompt is what book surprised you with how much depth it had, and I'm gonna choose Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This wasn't necessarily like deep as how most people would think of a deep book, like something that's sad or just like has a lot of like mature themes, but I mean deep as in like the world building in this and just the time and care she put into creating these characters is just so well done. Like, it is very deep world building, and so that's why I chose this, because everyone needs to read this. It is such an underrated fantasy book. It is so good. The romance is phenomenal, and it's tragic, but it's beautiful. Alright, and then the next step is blush, and I use this so much so it's worn out, but it's the Essence like blush stick. I really like it because it's just like a nice kind of like light pink color, and so I just do some dots. I feel like a clown right now, but this is my system, so do not judge. And I blend it in. Now, get the brush in my eye. And then the prompt for blush is to pick a book that had a cringeworthy romance, and I don't have a physical copy of this, but I chose City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. Because if you know, you know, and I'm currently reading City of Ashes. It's safe to say it does not get any better, and I don't know why she did that, but it's cringe. It's so cringe. I can barely tolerate to hear it. So the next step after blush is highlighter, and you shouldn't be surprised. It's again Morphe 2. I've had this forever. I'm just trying to use it up at this point, but I still really like it. It's still really nice. The prompt for highlighter is a book that brightens your day, and I chose Gwen and Art Are Not in Love by Lex Croucher. This is, I believe it's considered young adult, but it's like a historical fantasy, I'd say. It's also like very like, it reads like a contemporary, if that makes sense. But there is just so much like banter. All the characters are so funny, they're so interesting, and like the plot, it's kind of like a light plot. Stakes are kind of low, but it is just such a fun read, and it definitely like is a book to brighten your day. It makes me really happy when I think about it, and of all like the funny like quotes there is, and like the laughs I had while reading this. So I definitely recommend you check this out if you want something that is just gonna be like a fun, positive, kind of enjoyable read. This prompt is eyebrows, and my eyebrows, if you can't tell, are already pretty dark, but sometimes like today they just need some help getting into place. So I just use this little very light brown like spoolie thing with like some product on it, but like you can't even tell. It's just literally to put them in place. And I could not tell you where this is from because I've worn it out so much, but I'm sure it's Elf or something. For eyebrows is to pick a book that you think everyone should read, and I am gonna choose Frankenstein by Mary Shelley because I just think this is such a great story, and I don't think people really understand how great of a book it is because they look at it and they see a classic, or at least like readers my age, I feel like they don't really take the time to read it or like care about it because they consider it a classic, and it's like, oh, it might be too hard, or like, but it is such a good story. I had to read this for school twice, 2 different times, one in high school, one in college, and every single time I read it, it was so good, and just the themes and just the entire purpose, like, and message that it gives is so good, and it's the basis for so many other things. Like every other like monster story, every other creation story is related to Frankenstein, and I just wish more people would give it a chance. It's just so good. Next step is eyeshadow, and again for daily makeup I don't really wear eyeshadow. That's more of like a, you know, occasion thing. However, I do have this really old Pixie like duo thing, so I think I'm just gonna put a little light pink on my lid because I don't want anything too crazy for just a regular day. I'm probably making it seem like I don't really enjoy doing makeup, but I love makeup. It's just how much effort do I want to put in is the question when I'm doing makeup, because really it just takes time, and I'm such a perfectionist that I'm like, why would I do that to myself if I'm not even gonna wear it for that long or for that like big of a thing. Eyeshadow. The prompt is pick a book with your favorite colors on the cover. So I've not read this one yet, but if you know anything about me, you also know that I love frogs. So we have Frog Kisser by Garth Nix, and I love dark green. Dark green, like emerald green, is like my favorite color. So I wouldn't say this is like my exact favorite color, but it's very close. And it also has frogs on it, so I cannot complain. And it also has gold, and I quite like gold and white. But yeah, I would also choose a book that has pink on it, but none of the books I have are like the perfect pink. Like I have a very specific pink, but none of the books I have are that color. So I went with green. The next step is eyeliner. And again, I don't wear that much eyeliner. If I do, it is a like pencil, and I like tightline my eyes very lightly. I normally never do a wing anymore. I really used to all the time, but then my liquid eyeliner would like explode and it would just not be fun to work with, and I just haven't bought a new one. So this is all I've got. Let me just do that real quick because it requires some focus. I probably can't tell it all, but that's on. Prompt for eyeliner is pick a dark and mysterious book, and of course I chose Dune by Frank Herbert. There are definitely other dark and mysterious books like on my shelves and like that I've read or heard of before, but Dune is just the most mysterious thing I've ever read. And I know mysterious is kind of like a broad term, but the like political intrigue and just all the secrets that happen in this book are so mysterious to me, and it's just such high stakes that is very like dark to me. So I would choose like another fantasy, but this to me, like no other book has given me the feeling that Dune gives me. It is just so ominous in so many different ways. 2 more steps. The next one is mascara. So let me curl my eyelashes. Got my eyelash curler. Let's hope I don't get any on my lid or on my skin, but I use the Essence Lash Princess Focus mascara. You get the point. These are pretty popular. I'm very much a drugstore makeup girly, if you couldn't tell. I mean, I don't know if Morphe is considered drugstore, but their stuff is pretty cheap and it works really well. I just like, I cannot justify spending $50 on like a concealer or something at this stage of my life. My camera overheated a little bit, so the mascara is done. So the book for mascara for the prompt, pick a long book. Of course I had to pick Kingdom of Ash, which is 20 pages shy of 1,000. And that's kind of insane. Like, I read it by Stephen King in middle school, and that's over 1,000 pages, but this is a long book. But I know every page of it, every second is going to be so worth it and so phenomenal. I cannot wait. Now, onto lipstick. Prompt is favorite book kiss, and I genuinely have no idea for this question, but I'm gonna say my book that I'm writing, which is not fully written yet. I'm still in the drafting process, but it is a fantasy, it has romance, and that's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to give it away, and I also don't even know what it is at this point. I'm still writing it. We're into lipstick. I don't really wear that much lipstick because, you know, simple makeup doesn't require that much, but I am a lip gloss girl. So I have the NYX Butter Gloss, which I've had forever. I have this, I think it's like Maybelline Lip Crown, which I use sometimes. I have this like shimmery blue, and this is from ColourPop, and it was a Harry Potter lipstick, but I used so much of it that the label rubbed off. I'm very good at rubbing labels off. I'm gonna lean towards the Butter Gloss because I feel like it'll match me pretty well today. Okay, makeup is done. Alright, so that is all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching this book and makeup tag and listen to me talking about all the different books that fulfill these prompts while I got ready. I'm still not really used to filming sit-down videos. Vlogs come a lot easier to me, so I hope to have more videos out soon, especially as the summer comes and I have more time to read. I literally cannot wait. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.